Hi, my name is Alex. Today I want to tell you a story about how working from home turned into the dumbest, most absurd nightmare of my life when I found out my girlfriend wasn't just spending time in her so-called hobby room, she was secretly meeting someone else there. And trust me, what I discovered was way too stupid, way too embarrassing, and somehow, kind of viral. It was another painfully normal morning in suburban America. The kind where the mailman delivers bills, the neighbor's sprinklers overwater the sidewalk, and your life feels like a rejected episode of Friends that never aired. I, Alex, was working from home again, laptop perched precariously on my knees, in my official workspace, a corner of the living room covered in sticky notes and empty coffee cups. Laura, my girlfriend, had recently developed a strange habit. She kept disappearing into the hobby room, which was basically our extra bedroom filled with craft supplies, a weird karaoke machine, and a treadmill she never used. At first, I thought she was just exploring some new Pinterest obsession, maybe making macrame animal sculptures or building a dollhouse that resembled the White House. But something about it felt off. The door would be closed for hours. Sometimes I'd hear noises. Not ordinary noises. Strange, absurd noises that sounded like a combination of a squeaky rubber duck, someone screaming in Mario Kart, and a faint remix of Baby Shark. Curiosity, of course, is a dangerous drug. One day, while pretending to check the Wi-Fi router in the hallway, I peeked into the room. That's when I noticed the first oddity, a notebook filled with doodles, not of flowers or cats, but of me. Alex, in various embarrassing poses, some holding tacos, others tripping over laser beams labeled emotional trauma. I didn't understand. My brain loaded every worst-case scenario like a conspiracy theory playlist. Then it hit me, Laura wasn't just crafting or singing. Something else was happening behind that closed door. Later that week, I caught sight of her laptop screen through the slightly ajar door. I swear the glow from the screen looked like it was physically sucking the color out of the room. There were chat messages, vague, playful, absurdly flirtatious, with someone whose name I didn't recognize. They were talking about bizarre, intimate hobbies that involved costumes, rubber chickens, and the phrase, "meet me under the blanket fort at 8." I froze. My hands were sticky from Cheez-It dust. My cat jumped onto my lap, meowing like he was judging my entire life. My mind started playing TikTok soundtracks in my head, dramatic violin, intense meme horn blares, and that cursed "oh no, oh no, oh no" song. I was supposed to be the main character here, the hero of my own WFH story, but suddenly I felt like a background NPC in a surreal, sexualized crafting simulator. Over the next few days, my life turned into a full-blown detective comedy. I started noticing patterns. Laura would disappear into the hobby room at exactly 3:17 p.m. every single day. Sometimes the door would close slowly, dramatically, like a villain in a low-budget horror movie. I began timing her like some unhinged Olympic coach tracking laps, but for suspicious behavior. Curiosity mutated into obsession. I couldn't focus on work. Spreadsheets blurred together. My brain replayed that absurd chat over and over. Rubber chickens. Blanket forts. Costumes. I started imagining a secret world where Laura and some mysterious man were performing elaborate TikTok challenges that combined knitting, cosplay, and highly questionable flirtation. One day, while she was in the kitchen making an oddly specific sandwich, triple-decker grilled cheese with pickles, I decided to investigate. I peeked under the doorframe of the hobby room and my life shattered in the dumbest way possible. Inside, there was evidence. Not just chat logs. Oh no. A trail of absurd intimacy, half-eaten snacks, glitter on the floor, glitter that somehow smelled faintly like tuna, a stack of costume hats including a pirate hat, a unicorn horn, and a gorilla mask. And then, a Polaroid. It was blurred, low quality, but unmistakable, Laura, wearing a ridiculous feather boa, holding someone's hand whose face was hidden behind a giant papier-mâché taco. My stomach did that weird flip your body does when you realize you've just walked into a cursed meme. My cat, Mr. Pickles, jumped onto the doorframe and hissed like he knew the truth before I did. I tried to rationalize. Maybe it was just a cosplay rehearsal? A prank? Some elaborate performance art piece? But then I noticed sticky notes on the walls, each with strange, almost intimate instructions: rub elbows under the blanket fort. Whisper about the tractor emoji. And that's when my emotions went full meltdown. Shame, anger, betrayal, confusion, all mixed together like someone blended a smoothie of heartbreak and TikTok audio memes. I felt like crying and posting a storytime TikTok simultaneously. I had to leave the room before I did something irreversible, like throw a bag of Cheetos at the door or collapse in slow motion for content. But the absurdity kept playing in my head. How could someone be intimate in such a bizarrely specific, almost cartoonish way? And why did it have to involve a blanket fort? The absurdity amplified the humiliation. I wasn't just hurt. I was part of a cosmic joke, like life itself was filming me for a How Not to React to Betrayal compilation. And yet, a tiny, dark corner of my brain started plotting revenge in the most ridiculous way possible. By the time Laura got home that evening, I had fully transformed into a theatrical, meme-fueled detective. I didn't just plan to confront her, I staged it like a bizarre combination of reality TV, TikTok storytime, and low-budget soap opera. I set the mood. LED strip lights glowed purple and blue like some vaporwave nightclub. My laptop sat on the coffee table, open to her chat window, framed dramatically with a stack of unopened mail and an empty can of Red Bull. I even placed Mr. Pickles on the arm of the couch, like a tiny orange-eyed sidekick ready to judge the villain. Laura walked in, humming some random Spotify playlist, carrying a bag of yarn and a single slice of leftover pizza. She froze. Her eyes took in the scene, me crouched on the floor in socks with holes, arms spread wide like I was part of some abstract interpretive dance about betrayal, Cheetos dust still streaking my fingers. I didn't speak. I just pointed. First at the laptop, then at the blanket fort remnants spilling out of the hobby room, then at my chest, then at her. Finally, I collapsed dramatically onto the carpet, curling into the fetal position like a tragic meme character. But my brain wasn't done. I narrated my emotional disaster out loud, TikTok style. So basically guys, today I found out my girlfriend has been secretly conducting highly intimate blanket fort rituals with some dude, and I'm the main character in a horror comedy. Laura blinked, confused. Did she call the cops? The neighbors? Nope. She rolled her eyes. And that made it worse. My dignity evaporated. My hands started twitching like I had just eaten 6 energy drinks. I tried to storm out of the room, but destiny, or maybe karma, had other plans. My foot caught on a rogue yoga mat, I flailed, and my face collided with a stack of craft boxes. Glitter exploded everywhere like a tiny, mocking rainbow. My cat hissed. I screamed, not in pain, but in pure, theatrical despair. I staggered to my feet, arms raised like a man summoning the heavens, and proclaimed, "You haven't just betrayed me. You've betrayed the very essence of hobby rooms, blanket forts, and tasteful cosplay." At that moment, I realized my life had fully transformed into content. Every fall, every glitter explosion, every absurd detail was meme-worthy. Betrayal wasn't just pain anymore, it was art, chaos, and virality all rolled into one. That night, sleep became impossible. My mind raced like a laptop trying to run 47 Chrome tabs with Minecraft mods installed. Every sound in the house, the creak of the floorboards, the distant hum of the refrigerator, even Mr. Pickles scratching at the door, felt like a dramatic notification, another cursed hobby session happening right now. I lay on the couch, staring at the ceiling, thinking about every absurd detail, the blanket fort instructions, the rubber chickens, the taco-faced Polaroid. My emotions were a tangled mess of shame, anger, humiliation, and inexplicable humor. I laughed, then cried, then facepalmed, then laughed again. It was a loop, like some cursed Vine clip on repeat. By 2 a.m., I had fully embraced clown mode. I put on my prom suit jacket, no shirt underneath, grabbed a bag of Cheetos, and reenacted the confrontation scene in slow motion for an imaginary camera. Every glitter speck on the carpet became a spotlight. Every Pop-Tart wrapper a prop in my tragicomic opera. I realized something profound: this absurdity, this humiliation, could be content. I could turn my pain into a story, my betrayal into entertainment, and my meme-worthy meltdown into viral fame. The next morning, armed with a camera and reckless courage, I recreated the highlights: the blanket fort, the glitter explosion, the dramatic pointing at the laptop. I uploaded it to TikTok as POV, "Your girlfriend has secret blanket fort dates with another guy." The response was immediate. Comments flooded in. "Bro really got betrayed with rubber chicken's face with tears of joy. Costco, tacos, and blanket forts? Legendary loudly crying face. Main character energy unlocked fire." Suddenly, my life wasn't just a mess, it was a viral story. Betrayal, humiliation, absurdity all transformed into fame. I realized that while trust was broken, my creativity and meme sense were intact. The absurd, slightly sexualized, hilariously awkward truth of my life had made me the protagonist of a story millions wanted to watch. And in the end, I learned this: life is chaotic, people are unpredictable, and sometimes betrayal can be the spark that turns your personal tragedy into internet gold. That's the end of this incredible story. Subscribe to the channel to see more interesting stories like this. Goodbye.